Hello, this is Jack Mill with Tri-County Inspection Company and the House Whisperer Show. One of the things we kind of take for granted in our homes are our windows. And windows tend to be the largest, weakest, most water or air infiltrated areas of our homes. And I want to give you a little bit of history about a window. When the colonialists first came and settled in this area, there was no such thing as glass. So we had literally openings. And that's why if you look at some of the old taverns and old homes in and around our immediate areas, you're going to see solid shutters that sit to the side. And then on the second floor, you're going to see louvered shutters, and there's a real reason for that. The solid shutters, when closed, of course, offered security, but the upper windows being vented allowed for airflow. So sometimes people think, well, how come they don't match? Well, there's a reason for that. Once glass was introduced, it was heavily taxed. So, and again, in our older homes, we may see a window with literally 4 panes, because the more panes you had, the more tax you paid. So as time went on, and when people could afford the different mullions or glass panels, they did. So of course our first windows were what we call gravity windows. In other words, as you raise them up, they slammed right back down. So they actually made what's called a prop rod, which is roughly a 1x3 with different notches in it. So if you wanted to raise your window so much, you would put it in the notch. You wanted to open it up fully, then you would go to the top notch. Now of course these windows were highly inefficient. So in the era that I grew up in with our wood windows, we added what was called triple track storm windows, and you may have had them too. And in a triple track storm, you would have 2 storm panels and 1 screen. So you would raise the storm and then drop the screen for the spring, raise the screen, drop the storm for the winter. And so that's what I grew up with. Now, in the 70s and very early 80s, we got away from wood windows and went to aluminum replacement windows. And folks, I can give it a 4-letter word, but I'll give it a 5-letter word, and it's called trash. They were trash. And what was happening is they would allow condensation to form not only on the outside of the glass, but also on the inside of the glass. So we ended up with deteriorated windowsills, deteriorated side jambs. And fortunately, that era only lasted maybe 5 to 7 years. There's a local municipality, in fact, when they were providing their certificate of occupancies, they only asked that these windows worked 1 day, and that was day of settlement. So after that, if it failed, they didn't care. So all I can say is if you have aluminum windows in your home, please invest in updated windows. And when I'm on a home inspection, I see dated windows. I tell my clients, measure once, but order 2 or 3 times. Like my house has 28 windows, so I couldn't afford to do all of them at once, but I did measure once, and then I did my fronts, I did my backs, I did my sides and garage to finish up the project. So think of it that way, but windows are truly an investment. Now, I want to go over the varieties of windows. So this is an Anderson window. It's a true, what we call double hung window. In a few minutes, I'm going to actually show you how that works. Now, they also make something called a single hung window. A single hung window means that at this break right here, this top sash is fixed. So you can't move that. So just the bottom sash goes up and down. Okay? Now, Anderson pushes vinyl clad windows. It's a good window, but what's important is that the exterior frame is vinyl. But what they paint the window with is a vinyl clad paint. So that can wear. Now, I always encourage my clients to keep the screen in at all times, all year round. And the reason why is that a screen stops about 80% of the moisture from hitting the glass. So during the course of an inspection, again, the realtor suggests, hey, why don't we take the screens out, let more undiffused light come through, make the house brighter. So as I come through, I said, well, where are the screens? Oh, they're in the garage, they're in the attic, they're in storage, or we never open our windows. But at the end of the day, always keep the screen panel in. Let's go inside. Since we're inside the house at this point, I have a lot of fun with my clients, and as they're walking along with me, I tell them, go ahead and open the window. And they look at me like, are you kidding me? So what they do is they do this. And I say to the client, you got it half right. So the whole purpose of a double hung window is to open both sashes. So I kind of just use my fingers and I press down here and I lift up the sash like this. So the reason that we do this is that you want your cool air to come in the bottom of the window and you want your warm air to come out of the top of the window. Now this drives my wife crazy because she says, how come you open the window this way? And that's because I was trained to do it this way. So for true double hung windows, that's where you get a full screen. Now if you're ordering windows and you're going with a true double hung, make sure that you order a full screen as well. There's too many homes that I go into that offers this option, but you can't drop the top sash because there's nothing there to keep the bugs out. Now, in some cases where I'm in a bathroom and it's a double hung window, a single hung window, but with a half a screen, what I tell them to do is move the screen to the top and drop this sash, keep this one closed, because in a moisture situation, you want the moisture to exit the room, but at the same time, you get to keep your core warm. And that's why Codeman says if you have a window in your bathroom, you don't need a bath fan because they expect you to open the window. Bottom of the day, or at the end of the day, I always tell my clients get a bath fan anyway and vent it to the exterior of the home. Now I want to take you and show you a casement window. Now another variety of window that I really enjoy is something called a casement window. And that's what this sash is here. The beauty of a casement is that it has two locking mechanisms. Now today's more modern windows may only have a latch at the bottom, but it does engage in two areas. So it's a really tight, secure window. And it just opens with a crank. And the beauty of this is that I kind of use this philosophy, it's like sailing a boat. So when you open up the sash, what you're doing is you're catching the breeze as it comes in and really allows a nice amount of air to come into your home for your comfort level. Back in the 80s, I built a passive solar home and I used a product called Herd, and I was able to actually order sashes that worked like this. So when I had them open in the front versus opening in the back, it was like a vacuum, and this airflow went right on through the house. And again, it's a very, very efficient window. Now, I'm going to lock this one up, but I want to take you over to my kitchen window at the sink and tell you how not to operate a casement. If you ever plan to remodel your kitchen, the best window that you can put over your sink is a casement. And the reason why, as you notice, today's kitchen fixtures are getting higher and higher. And so if you're operating a double hung or a single hung window, you literally have to lean over your sink in order to open it. So get away from that and install a casement window. They come in all shapes and sizes, and they can be specially ordered to fit any opening. Now, by the kitchen table, we talked about opening the casement in order to catch the wind. But when you have a small casement window like this, if I open up this sash, we're not getting any airflow. So for this brand of window or style of window, you want to pick and choose which side you want to open and which side you want to close. Now, if I open up this one fully, and I get this, now if I have airflow coming from the north or coming from the south, it's going to be blocked. So the only way I'm going to get air into this space is if I'm getting a direct west wind. So casements are designed to work in a particular fashion. So grab the air, make your decision, and open the sash as you want it. So if you like today's content, please press the subscribe button below, and of course any comments, reach out to me at thehousewhisperershow.com. Thank you very much.